Hello, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Guitaristas. Trees up. Driving home for Christmas now. That's what they say, isn't it? We're on the home straight. Crashing in towards it. It's 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And we all get to, well, those of us that celebrate Christmas, I should say, get a chance to celebrate, well, pig out really, isn't it? Yeah. Overindulge in whatever it is you like to overindulge in. And maybe, hopefully, have a little bit of a holiday before we have to do it all again for another year. So yeah, I'm definitely worn out, to be honest with you. It's been a year. It's been another year full on. I missed a few weeks on YouTube, but only because I was doing other work. So I've been flat out this year, and I'm looking forward to having a break, to be honest with you. So what we're doing is we're having 2 last shows this week and next week, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a roundup, a wrap up of all the guitars that we bought this year, and there were many. 25 in total, 25 new guitars this year I bought. It sounds like a lot, doesn't it? But what's an interesting statistic, I sold 40. Well, I disposed of 40. I won't say I sold 40 because I only sold 33 of those. I'll tell you later what happened to the other 7. But I sold 33, got rid of another 7, 40 gone, 25 in, 40 out. I'm net 15 down on the year. I don't know what that's all about, to be honest with you. I've had a big sell-off, obviously, earlier, right at the beginning of the year, didn't I? In January, I had a big sell-off. We're not going to include that in this because you've seen that. What this is about is the actual guitars that we bought. A little recap on the films, those films that I made, and a little look at them again. And some comments on what I think about them now. A lot of them are gone. Some I've still got. So we're going to do 2 parts. This part, sorry, I keep doing that. Peace on earth and goodwill to all men. No, joking. This part, what we're going to do today, this week rather, I've started already, haven't I? I'll carry on. No one's noticed. This week it's the budget guitars. Now, what we've got today is about a dozen of that lot that I bought were budget guitars. Less than 400 quid, 400 English pounds, which is what, less than $500, isn't it? All of the guitars in this episode, budget guitars, some of them very budget. Let's have a look back at what I got and see what I thought of them. So yeah, the first of several budget tea styles that I bought this year was the Harley Benton. It had to be really because so many people talk about them. I think I had a little bit of catching up to do once I started reviewing guitars. And I was a little bit sniffy, I think, about Harley Benton. I've come to realise now that they're absolutely a force to be reckoned with. There's no doubt they're well made, and as I said, they're a force to be reckoned with. And they've raised the bar on budget guitars, I think, and everyone has to take notice of that, don't they? And a lot of people have. I did once say that I wouldn't be seen on stage with the Harley Benton. I've been known to be a little bit sniffy about headstocks, haven't I? It's a mental thing. It's something about it's the name, it's the brand, the name. There's something weird, something just not right about Harley Benton. It sounds like a Harley Benton. Sounds like a fucking character out of Harry Potter or something, doesn't it? It's just a bit, couldn't you think of a better name? I know that's stupid, but I have gone on record as saying I'm a little bit of a brand whore. Headstock's important to me for whatever reason. That's it, really. That's the only criticism I've got. And it's a stupid one, I know. But it's what I think. And next up was this, definitely out of my comfort zone. I love it when I get a guitar that screams at me, this is what you're doing this week, you're learning this. Or you're trying to learn this. I saw this on a Coda Music Stevenage website for £199, which I thought, yeah, well, we'll have a go, shall we? A lot of firsts here for me. I'm not disappointed to discover these things. There's a lot going on. I had no idea that you have to string this up without the balls. You have to cut them off. Ooh. We're trying to do a gig and you just got this, your bandmates wouldn't be happy, let's put it that way. I mean, this is a budget guitar, so it probably wasn't the most stable Floyd Rose you could get, but it did a thing. This is a pointy guitar. Pointy guitar, a lot of people don't understand what I'm talking about when I say pointy guitar. They go, well, you've got SGs, you love it, SGs, they're pointy. They're not pointy. It's an era. It's like, it's the 80s, the mid-80s, I think it was, when things like this became prevalent and PRSs. And there's a certain pointiness about them. And even if it's not a physical pointiness, it's an attitude. It's the pointy attitude, which this has got in spades, isn't it? And I had a go. Never tried tapping before. I'm going to have a go now. Let's see if I can do it. Next up, we got an Antiquity, which is the own brand of PMT in the UK. Looks nice, doesn't it? It's the TL1 Dark Rosewood. I got this guitar fully expecting to contradict Dagan. You know Dagan from PMTV? What a fabulous guitar. Dressed up to look like George Harrison's Rosewood Telecaster. £179 though it cost. no rosewood was actually used in the manufacture of this instrument, however. Completely fake, but completely brilliant. It looks like rosewood, doesn't it? It's not. Sounds like a telecaster, doesn't it? How good can a 99-pound guitar be these days? East Coast is the own brand of Andertons and Guitar in the UK. I've been aware of them for years. I always just walk past them, you know, turn me nose up or down. Yeah, look down upon them. Turn me nose up and look me down. Look, get it out. It nearly worked out. Turn me nose up and looked down upon them at the same time, probably. I thought, they'll be rubbish. They're not. They're not. They're just not. It's amazing, really. This was one of my favourites from the whole of the budget T-style range that we got. It was something to do with the look. It's like a real nice classic look, colour, you know. Everything about it was, yeah, good. Proper ashtray bridge. And it sounded great, didn't it? £99? Come on. Someone's having a laugh, aren't they? You can't get a guitar as good as this for £99. Well, apparently you can. Another budget T-style next. I'll move on to some other stuff soon, but there were a lot of these, so bear with us. We got the fazley. Fazley or fazley, I don't know how it's pronounced. I think it's fazley. This is another own brand from Bach's Music in Europe. This is the Coyote Basic. Cheap as chips, £89. Is it any good? My first impressions of this, I must say, weren't great. It was a little bit rawer, shall we say, a little bit rough around the edges, but I felt I really vibed with this guitar. Perhaps for that reason, it sort of presented a challenge. You know, it wasn't perfect, but it sounded as good as any of them and played as good as any of them, which I think, you know, it proves it's really, a lot of it's about the attitude and maybe in the fingers. You know, pickups make a certain amount of difference. I mean, there's a comparison with all the T-styles on the channel. I'll put a link in the description box where you can hear them all played side by side. You can hear some differences, but they all sound good. So yeah, Fazley Coyote Basic, that was. Great little guitar, another great little budget brand, raising the bar. So here's a guitar that I do still have. It's a PRS, yeah, I couldn't get rid of it. I'm joking, of course. No, this has been literally in the corner of the studio since the review. I haven't played it. That's not because it's a PRS, it's because I simply don't get time to pick up the guitars. What I do is I film a guitar, review it, move on next week, and I could have taken it home and played it. I have a few at home in rotation. I didn't feel the urge to take this one home. But it's a great guitar, as I said in the review. This could be one of the best used bargains out there. It sounds great. It really does. And I'm confident to say that. What I did say in reviews is I'm not a fan of PRS. Yeah, I mean, it's a great guitar, personally, and it's just a personal thing. I'm not turned on by the design. Now, a lot of people didn't understand what I was going on about. They said it's an SE, it's not a proper PRS. Well, it is, because it's an aesthetic thing. It's really an aesthetic thing. And it looks to all intents and purposes the same as all the custom core, whatever they call them, the ones with the dragons and the bling. This looks a lot better, in fact, than any of them, in my humble opinion. But it's the same shape. It's got the same shape headstock. And I said it sounded good. So it wasn't about how they might be better. And I'm sure they are. I'm sure they play brilliantly. It's not about that. It's about the aesthetic. I do not like the look of PRS guitars. End of. But I'm an idiot. It sounds fabulous. It's really light as well, this. Just realised. It's got a nice neck. I'll probably stick this on reverb in January if you fancy a nice cheap, well, great guitar. I just don't like it. Now this one was next. This is an interesting one, isn't it? Because it's a Heritage H150 from the new Ascent range. The cheapy ones. Bolt-on neck. Made in China, crafted in China. I think I was one of the first on the YouTube to review this new import range of Heritages. I was delighted about that, actually, because I'm not often ahead of the curve. But I came across this in Dawson's in Denmark Street, which is the main heritage dealer, certainly here in the UK. And because there wasn't a big splash on this. It was a very soft launch, and I think they'd done that on purpose. I suspect they were aware that there might be a bit of an outcry because it's a good old USA, brand heritage. The American ones are made in the original Gibson factory. So I think they might have expected a bit of pushback, a bit of hoo-ha, suddenly making a much cheaper version in China. Is it a good move? It ain't Coca-Cola. It's rice. That would have worked if this was made in Vietnam, but you know what I mean. It's like a proper American brand heritage. It's based on that, isn't it? And now they've done this. More recently, I've seen that they have sent guitars to some proper YouTubers for reviews. So I think they got away with it, didn't they? This actually was remarkably good, and in this clip you'll see I'm playing it alongside the actual Heritage Standard that I had. That'll be featured in next week's video, okay? And this sounds remarkably good. It really does. It's quite amazed, really. Nice guitar. Hasn't been played. That'll go up for sale in January, I think, if you fancy it. here we go. It's like a Telecaster, but it's not really. This is the Squier Paranormal Troublemaker Telecaster. Or this is the modified version. That's what it was like originally. It was all bling. So I did a massive upgrade series. Massive, yeah, because there were 3 episodes. You might want to look away now. The idea is to upgrade some of the parts that perhaps needed it and change some of the gold blingy parts, de-bling it basically. Here you go. Oh, looking good. Looking good. Yeah, I know this is not the right way of doing it. Try and get that one in the hole. Wow, that's exciting. Shit. It's not broken, look. There's a few little marks. There's a bit of blob damage there. But it's got great pickups, got witch hat knobs now. And still in tune. I haven't played it since that. This will go in January, I think. Next, another cheap guitar. Why do I love cheap guitars so much? I started buying cheap guitars because I can't afford to keep buying expensive guitars. Although I did, of course, buy quite a lot of expensive guitars as well, and next week we're going to run through all of those. This week is a £149 Squier Telecaster. They all sound perfectly reasonable, don't they, these cheap guitars? Why do I love cheap guitars so much? And I was going to say because you can buy 10 of these, or more than 10 of these for the price of one of those expensive Les Pauls, and you get 10 times as much pleasure. I added up the cost of all of these, all the budget guitars in this episode. There's a couple more to come. It was a total of 13 guitars in this episode. The total cost of them was £2,282, okay, which is about 15% of the cost of all the guitars in next week's episode, which is over 17 grand in next week's episode. That's why I like cheap guitars, I think, because bang for buck, well, you can have as much fun with them. We've established that loads of time. I often have more fun playing stuff like this, don't I? problem is with these budget guitars, well, they cost money, but they're worth nothing. There's no residual value, basically. A lot of people will tell you that. Oh, cheap guitars, waste of time. You never get your money back. Buy a Gibson. Missing the point in it, because they're brilliant to start with. If you're going to play them, you'll get your money's worth out of them. Trust me. But I didn't want to, sell these off and, make peanuts. But I wanted them to go to good homes. So what I decided to do was donate them to a local youth music organisation. I found a place called All In Music, which is a studio based at Southend YMCA. I'll put a link to their website in the description box. Check out the fabulous work they do, teaching music, everything, a wide range, guitar, electric guitar, bass guitar, piano, vocals, songwriting, recording. To I suppose the disadvantaged children, is that the way I can say it, or underprivileged, or perhaps kids with disabilities. A big old catch-all there. You get the idea. They've got a fabulous facility where they're encouraging, youths 11 years upwards, I think, mainly, to sort of get involved in something that will hopefully benefit them in all sorts of ways. So we dropped off 7 guitars earlier this week, and I just wanted to, the roll of honour there that you've been watching. You're thinking, what the fuck's that? That's just a thank you to all the subscribers on the guitaristas.tv channel, because they're making a monthly donation, which really does enable me to buy a lot of this gear in the first place that I wouldn't really been able to get these guitars if it weren't for that support. So thanks, guys. You know who you are anyway, and thanks of course to all of you out on YouTube land that are watching anyway, because it all counts and it all helps. So there you go. That's what we did with them. Next, here we go. Apparently here we've got everything you need to start your guitar journey. If you get this for a kid, this could change their life. And again, I haven't got the East Coast JG, because I think this was the film that inspired me to actually make that donation. So this guitar joined 6 T-Styles and is now at the All In Music studio. When I took these guitars down, Tom, the manager of the studio, picked this one up, plugged it into a Boss Katana amp that he had there, and he started ripping the arse off. I mean, what a fantastic player, These people are really good at what they do. And he was playing these, and he couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe how good these guitars were. And he was going through and plugging them in and really appreciating the quality of these budget guitars now is just amazing. Now we're going to end this episode with my budget guitar of the year. Before we do that, there's another 2 guitars that I haven't actually got around to reviewing this year. I'll just show you what they are. First off is this one. It's the Guild Polara Night Edition. God, look at the dust on it. It's disgraceful, isn't it? A great little guitar. I've had this months now, and I haven't reviewed it, and apologies, because I know I showed it, I unboxed it, I think, at some point, and a few people have asked, where's the review? I just haven't got round to it. Partly, well, mainly really, because I've been trying to think of a thumbnail, because it's just not enough these days. It's just on YouTube, just saying, oh, Guild Polara Night Edition review. Not enough people would be interested in that to warrant the effort, really. Oh, it's way out of tune. So I'm going to come up with something. This is one. I'll do something with it in the new year, honestly. If for no other reason, I can try and play a bit of Soundgarden again. And the other one is this, another one from the Heritage Ascent range. This is the H137 wrap over tail bridge 2P90 soap bars. Again, I just haven't really got around to doing anything with it yet. So there's another one. Well, we've got a couple. I probably have to spend a little bit less on guitars next year anyway, so I've got a head start, haven't I? To wrap this episode up, a year of guitars, 2024 budget edition. My budget guitar of the year, this year, can you guess? It's a Heartwood Charger. It's a cool looking, original looking, I think, affordable guitar. £249. Yeah, come on. I saw it and I thought, hello, that's a bit of me. There's no way it feels like a budget guitar. It just doesn't. Yeah, it's the Heartwood Charger. I mean, I did say earlier, I mean, aesthetics is a big thing for me, but it's got a certain originality about it. It's got a real nice vintage vibe, an element of originality about this that is rare in budget guitar world land, and it sounded bloody great. Really nice specs, you know, interesting, you know, whammy bar. Great look, great specs, great sound, great price. And part of a wider range of original budget guitars. And the thing is about Heartwood, it's quite a cool name, isn't it? It's quite a cool brand. You know, there's nothing Harley Benton about Heartwood. Do you know what I mean? I think they picked the right name for their. This is, again, it's an in-house brand of gear for music. So, yeah, this is my budget guitar of the year. It sounds nice. I mean, it really does. That's all for this week, folks. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for supporting the channel as always. Come back next week and we're going to, you know, I'm just looking at my notes. We're going to go through £17,353 worth of guitars. And they were all under £2,000. I know, one of them wasn't. One of them was a little bit more pricey. So we're going to go through the rest, all of the what are they, £500 upwards. So there's still some cheapies there. £500 upwards. We're going to go through that lot and we're gonna decide, because I haven't decided yet, we're gonna decide which is my guitar of the year, 2024. There you go. See you next week, I hope. Anyway, yeah. Cheers for now. Ta-da. That's enough of that, I think.